All right, much love and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Re-Evolution broadcast. I am Chris Rice, aka Rice Crypto. My partner in crime is Phil Massey, aka the Modern Guru.
What's up, everybody?
Tonight, he wanted to do a discussion a little bit about what the United States government talked about today on Capitol Hill. Just in case you're unaware, you didn't have a chance. Phil took a deep dive into this little area. I checked it out a little bit, and we figured we would talk about it together and share the information with you.
Emergency broadcast, basically.
Woo, woo, woo.
So, yeah, I mean, Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so today we had a meeting on Capitol Hill involving the Senate, the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, and the CFTC. So can you give us a little bit of an idea of some of the stuff that took place? What's so funny?
My dog, here, let me bring her in. She's messing with my computer right now. She's licking it and knocking it all over the place. So I'm trying to get her out of here.
All right,
sorry about that, man.
Oh no, it's totally straight. So basically, can you give us a little bit of an idea of what took place today in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, I mean, we had two of the big boys, the chairmen of the SEC, and who I believe his name was Jay Clayton.
Clayton.
Clayton. And then you also had Giancarlo. And basically what these two guys were talking about today.
And he's with the CFTC.
That's correct.
Okay.
So they went in front of a bunch of senators today in the Banking Affairs Commission, and they were discussing cryptocurrencies. They discussed some other things too, but it was mainly based on cryptocurrencies. That's why it was called together. So what you had in a brief overview, because it was long, it was almost 2 hours, but a brief overview of it is it was very, very good for the cryptocurrency community and the ecosphere. I can't even begin to describe how excited and how happy I am that this went down the way that it did today. And you had both of those chairmen discussing with the senators things of, ICO's nature, cryptocurrencies in general, how are they going to basically be integrated into the economy, and were they worthwhile? Did they see promise? Did they see a bunch of positive things for our country moving forward? And the general overview of that meeting went very well in regards to positive outlook on cryptocurrencies. So very exciting news, great stuff. What did you think about it, Chris?
Well, I had an opportunity to, I had school today, got home, was working on homework, and was trying to catch as much as I could while I was working on some assignments. And it definitely sounded positive. I didn't hear anything that was really truly negative. It was mainly people, the senators and stuff, who really didn't have an idea about what cryptocurrency and Bitcoin were, that were a little more skeptical, talking about what gave it value. And, and basically I thought that was kind of ironic that they were talking about what gave Bitcoin value. And, I like to question what gives the US dollar value. But
yeah, but they're not going to get into that.
I know. I just thought that was interesting. But overall, it was good stuff. I heard those old folks talking, some crypto terms. I got to hear some senators use the words HODL.
Yeah.
They talk about what it meant.
To describe things. That was pretty funny. Giancarlo, like we were talking about before the show started, Giancarlo seems like the good grandfather, like the grandfather everybody loves to be around. He was telling stories. I think one of the stories he was talking about was how him and his wife had tried to get their kids, when they're in high school, they set up trading accounts for them
for the stock markets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stock
kids
accounts.
Just wouldn't take, had zero interest, wanted nothing to do with it. And then they go off to college, they come home over Christmas break, and all they're talking about is Bitcoin and how they bought Bitcoin and how their cousins own Bitcoin. And he was just blown away because he had been trying to get them to do some investing in the stock market, and they just wouldn't do it. So
right.
He was basically describing it as a phenomenon. And but it was a good phenomenon. And he thought there was a very, very bright future for the products and the currencies in general. The only concerns really that they had, and they're my concerns, I share them with them. I've been talking about this for a while, is all the scammers, the pyramid schemes, and the shit coins, which
right.
you define it as.
Yeah, the ICOs that just are speculative.
Yeah, and Mr. Clayton, who is the chairman of the SEC, he went right down the line. He was very straightforward in his critique of the markets, and he talking about how all these ICOs that are being launched are really securities, and they need to go through the regulatory process, the applications with the SEC, in order to file. And a lot of people are scared by this because they say, okay, government regulation, governments are coming in. I understand that. I lean towards anarcho-capitalism. I lean towards libertarianism. Those are what my roots are. But, okay, these markets are a living entity, and not everyone that is involved in these markets are good people. In fact, there's a lot of bad people that exist in this world, and there's a lot of people that don't care about anyone but themselves, and they will rob, cheat, steal, pillage, and rape whoever is out there.
It's almost like going back to the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
Especially with the gold rushes. You
Right.
look at Bitcoin as the gold rush and the wild, wild west.
And they were very clear today that they don't want to stifle integration and they don't want to stifle technology development. What they are concerned about is Main Street being robbed and Wall Street getting smoked in these markets. And they don't want the manipulation. In my video last night, I talked about it. Like, if you're going to transfer from the old system into the new system, where you're taking all the derivatives, all the debt, all the insolvent banks that are about to blow in all these stock markets all around the world, if you're going to take all those derivatives, and you're going to move them into a new system that will be able to envelop them, blanket them without the fucking world melting down, well, you don't want to have one Ponzi scheme transferring all these derivatives into another freaking scheme. And
right.
If you're going to clear these markets up, which is what it sounds like they want to do. And from the looks of all the different stimuli that I see, this is kind of what's been forming in my mind and like envisionary for the future. Like you don't want to take the old shit and make the new shit as well. You want to make a vibrant, positive place for investing, for technology to be born and bred from, moving into the future. And one of the ways that you do that is limiting the amount of damage that these bad people out in this world can do to investors and give the good currencies bad names. You can make the whole market look terrible by these scammers. And it steals market cap from the coins that are actually great coins with great technology, great development teams. Like, we need them to further this market into the future. We don't need the scam coins,
I agree, man. I mean, I think regulation and especially with what's going on with the rest of the world in regards to stocks and things like that, I think the regulation was going to come into play regardless. It's as long as the regulations are designed, like you're saying, to allow for that innovation and to kind of stifle and stop all the pyramids and scams and speculative ICOs that are more based off marketing ideas than actual technology.
Correct. Great
point.
But
if they can't, I don't want to see them create regulation that's going to put a lot more control over it either and make it incredibly easy for them to tax, because that gets away from the ideas too.
Well, the chairman said today, though, he's like, look, we can only control certain aspects of this. They're aware of that. Like, they can't control what currencies people use. They can control what ICOs are being launched, especially if they start working with the gatekeepers, which are the lawyers, the Ethereum, the people that run Ethereum, the protocols on it, all that things. Like,
I'm all for that, dude. Yeah. I'm all for these ICOs having to go through some sort of process before they can launch and allow people to invest. I mean, considering a lot of these ICOs that are what we would speculate to be shit coins don't even allow United States residents to be able to invest in these coins.
Right, and there's for good reason in a lot of these things too. So
right, but people, they want to say it to be defensive as U.S. regulation is tough. But to me, that is just their way of trying to say that they're not doing something that's correct or legit.
Right.
That
they don't want to reveal. They don't want to have to reveal their bill of goods that they're selling.
Right.
They don't want to have to have all truth and honesty, because blockchain is all about truth and honesty. That's why it's so wonderful. But when you're launching an ICO, the blockchain isn't protecting you from what these guys are selling you, the bill of goods that they're selling you.
Since you're saying that, blockchain technology is awesome. It could definitely change the future, but people have to be aware of the blockchains also, because not all blockchains are open and transparent. So just because they're using the word blockchain doesn't mean that they're going to have that transparency and decentralization like some other ones.
There's still centralized blockchains and decentralized blockchains.
Right.
People need to understand that and some of these coins have nothing to do with blockchain at all. They're just launching ICOs so they can get around regulations.
Right. I mean, it's basically an initial stock offering.
Precisely.
And they're just trying to get around the system using some kind of new terminology. And the government's like, we're not going to play that game anymore.
And that was the only time that the SEC or today was basically when they were being like hard asses. They were talking about just the regulations of the ICOs.
Right.
Otherwise, both of them sounded so open to all of this. And like, that is just so refreshing. So,
no, I agree, dude. And as an anarchist, man, I'm on the same point with you exactly, because we just can't end government overnight and create our own regulation for all this. So, the general public needs protection. And I think it's important that we've got that. And considering, how bad the past month, 5 weeks have been for the crypto space with all the decline, especially in the total market cap, receiving some good news like this, regarding positiveness going towards regulation, moving on in the space and with the United States, that hopefully, is going to follow. The rest of the world follows a lot of the United States anyways, especially in things like in regards to this. So hopefully the rest of the world will start taking, will follow what the United States are doing. And
well, I think you'll see that. Maybe not all countries. I don't think China's going to, China's got their own plan for cryptos. It's a much more centralized approach to them. But
we could talk about that on a whole nother episode.
A lot of these countries are going to follow suit with what the U.S. does. They always do. So we're going to see a bunch of nations follow suit with whatever the U.S. decides, because the U.S. is going to investigate this the most thoroughly and spend the most money trying to figure it out. And they'll have they have the biggest budgets in the SEC to do the research on everything. So we'll see what happens, but I think the other countries are going to follow suit. So that's a good thing.
And a good thing today is, the charts have been pretty green, which is a great thing.
It's been green.
My opinion is I think it's the beginning of the green. I think we're going to be seeing some gain. I don't think it's going to be like anything happening, 50, 60, 100% gains overnight, but I think that we're going to start seeing some steps forward.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a slow incline, we'll be walking up a hill a little bit, because I still think people are rattled. And, the reason why we had that huge drop was, the cryptocurrency markets were definitely overvalued at the time, but there's also a ton of fear still left over. And there's a lot of people that got jitters after what they just saw. So it's going to take time. It's going to take time for it to go back up, as it should. And I believe it will, but it'll be a slow incline up to probably 10,000 in the next week or two, in my opinion.
Right. But it'll be healthy.
Yeah.
Whereas when we went up to almost $20,000, that was completely parabolic and unhealthy.
Parabolic, man. It was like,
yeah. And when you have something like that happens, if you're new to the space, it does end up recovering, and it starts going back down and declining. It starts retesting new lows. It's all about support and resistance. This is a bull market, a bear market. You got to learn about what these things mean and educate yourselves.
Yeah. And the one last thing I wanted to say about that, and that ties in with that, is, we're still not really in the adoption phase. We're just in the very beginning right now. So this bubble, when we went straight parabolic, that's all speculation, guys. We don't have a lot of working products within the crypto sphere. But we will in time. And when we start seeing bigger runs, high parabolic runs like that, when we have working technology that's been integrated, which is why the SEC is so important too, is because we have to get these cryptos integrated into the financial system. So merchants start accepting these. keep going, oh, these are the enemy, F them. It's the banking world. I hate bankers more than anybody, central bankers, the JP Morgans, Goldman Sachs. I can't stand them. I despise them. They're vile.
But the best way for us to be able to end banking is to work within the banking system and figure out ways.
We can't just switch it. Remember, the old system into the new. There has to be a process by which
we merge them and then get rid of the old.
Right. And there's going to be rules that we're going to have to follow. There's going to be certain. We can't just have blatant anarchy in this, or it's going to be chaos. We will not have a new system in place, and the cryptos will be shut down and go to shit. So,
and if real quick, if that's somebody's mentality, there's privacy coins.
Right, Monero.
Stick in the privacy coin zone and don't worry about the rest of the cryptocurrencies. Not every crypto is for every individual.
Yeah,
they all serve a purpose.
If you want to buy drugs off the internet, use Monero. Okay, go. I'm not saying do it. I don't do it. I think
we don't approve of it.
But if you want it, you can still use Monero. It's untraceable. No one's going to find it.
Right. Don't be using our Litecoin to buy your drugs. Man.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd be an idiot if you did that, because all Bitcoin and Litecoin are definitely traceable. You are.
Yeah.
Magneto, bro. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm super positive. Chris, I know, dude, a couple days ago, I was hurting, man. I was really hurting. But
dude, I'm glad you're saying it, and I'm glad we're talking about it, because, how many people are letting this fear, uncertainty, and doubt, this FUD overwhelm them, man?
Yep.
I mean, the best thing that people could have done is just if you can't handle looking at these charts and knowing what's going on, knowing the long term, then you need to stop looking at these charts on a daily. Don't depress yourself. There's plenty of things to do in this world. If you have a job, spend more time at that. Spend more time with your family. Watch a movie. Do something. Go out and volunteer. Just don't look at those charts, because it's just going to drive you crazy.
It wasn't the money aspect. It was like before I read Giancarlo and Clayton's testimonies in those PDF files on the Gov website, like I thought, after everything we had just gone through and Bitcoin dropping that far, 65 into 70%, who knows where the bottom was? We weren't even getting cat bounces off what we thought resistance levels were. Like, I thought the government was going to come out today and be like, you know what, we're going to shut these down. That's what that pit in my stomach was, because I thought we were going to get shut down before we ever even had a chance to change the world. And that's not what happened. And when I was driving home, dude, I went and got a Subway sandwich today. I was telling my brother this earlier. He was just like, dude, you're such an idiot. But I was driving home from getting a Subway sandwich, and I had tears in my eyes. I really did, dude. I was tearing up listening to Giancarlo when he was telling that story about his kids, because this is a beautiful thing, and this is our future.
Amen to that, man. This is the future.
More and more people are going to start realizing soon what these things are, what these vehicles are, and how this can impact and save their lives. So this is big. This is big time.
No, when we talk about impact and save people's lives, man, I don't want people to get that idea that you're going to get rich overnight. No. Me and Phil believe in this for the long term. Yeah. And you need to make sure that when you're investing in cryptocurrencies, that you're having that similar vision, that you're not just doing it for short-term profit. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But ultimately, this is the future, and this technology is going to change the future, and in my opinion, into a better future. So what do you think?
I agree 100%.
We've also had some other good news, like as far as like just some positive things we can talk about. I mean, aside from Robinhood opening up the trading, we have the Square Cash app that's going to be allowing you to buy and sell Bitcoin. And then the Bread wallet is now going to be opening up the option to buy Bitcoin with your credit card. So
LightPay too.
LightPay is making a little bit of progress. I saw something today earlier that I tagged you in about another merchant service that's going to be allowing, I think it's Aliens, if I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was talking about that a couple of videos ago. Allianz. I just couldn't remember the name of it.
Okay.
Video, but yeah, that's Allianz.
I mean, that's totally good news.
Yep.
Dude,
I think LightPay is going to be huge. I think this is being underreported right now. I really do, because people are going to be able to use the LightPay card anywhere they go to buy anything they want. Anywhere that accepts it.
It's going to have a Visa logo on it.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's supposed to I can't wait for the day that we can come out with a new merchant service that isn't going to be MasterCard or Visa. That's going to be excellent. That's going to be an awesome future for that. Something else I think that people are starting to actually come together a little bit, and I think it's going to take a little bit more time for everybody to kind of get on board on the same page, but that people are coming to the realization for cryptocurrency to build, being that Bitcoin was the first and the most knowledgeable one, that people need to stand behind Bitcoin. And the community of Bitcoin is, needs to come together in more of a consensus and not be fighting like this Bcash BS. And, the reason I'm bringing this up is because Coinbase, you mentioned to me earlier, their CEOs now that they're going to be implementing SegWit within the next few weeks, which is going to reduce transaction fees and allow faster transactions. And a lot of the holdup in the network was exactly that. So many people were fighting SegWit, where if more people would have had SegWit on both ends, Bitcoin would have acted more like it was designed to act with the low cost and transaction fees.
Yeah, that's why I got out of Bitcoin. That's why I took a step back away from it. I went to the sideline to watch the nerd drama and fight it out. But yeah, Armstrong, who's the CEO of Coinbase, he finally decided he was no longer going to, keep the brakes on Bitcoin, and he was going to implement SegWit on their site. Coinbase got a bad rap for that, all those shenanigans that went down with Bitcoin Cash when they listed it, and there was insider trading, and it pumped to what? I think it was like 3,600.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Yeah, and there was a lot of shady shit that went on in the trading and the arbitrages.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, he's finally, I guess he's wised up, because I'll tell you something, it really screwed up these markets, him not, supporting Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the train that drives on the track, and all the altcoins sit on the, the back of Bitcoin and ride around on the railroad.
Which is why we all need to support the Bitcoin.
Right. And by him implementing it, this is a sign that he's finally waking up after this massive crash, that, a lot of people want Bitcoin. They don't want Bitcoin Cash. This is evident.
Oh, just real quick, since you said that, okay, something that I think that is awesome is I was watching Tezo earlier with Arcane Bear on YouTube, and you might have caught the video, but he was talking about how he's going to be at Anarchapulco and he can be speaking, and he's also going to be making it one of his missions to cause a little bit of chaos, because he is looking to have a conversation with Roger Ver. He wants to confront Roger Ver and talk with him about what the hell his deal is, and kind of get down to it. Oh, that's a cute doggy.
That's Mia, man. Say hello to the world, Mia. She's a Boston Terrier. She's 2 years old. I love her to death, and she's down here causing trouble.
She's such a pretty dog.
Yeah, she's awesome, dude. She's such a sweet little thing.
I like bug-eyed dogs, man.
Yeah, she's a good girl. All right. I got to do this video, honey. All right, sorry. Where were we at? That's twice now.
Oh, we were talking about Tezo going into Roger Ver.
Right, go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, I just think that's going to be awesome, man. We were talking in the last episode that we did together about going, about wanting to go to Anarchapulco, and Adam Kokesh is going to be speaking. So, but just I would almost just want to see Tezo go after Roger Ver, man, because Tezo keeps it real.
Yeah, he does. Did he say what he was going to ask him, or he's kind of like?
I think he was going to try to ask a few questions regarding why he gets hung up with people calling Bitcoin Cash Bcash.
Yeah.
Because he seems to get his panties up in a bunch when people say that.
That's not going to end well for Tezo. Then it's going to be a dumb interview if he starts.
Well, the thing that Tezo was saying was Lamborghini, the company who spent all this money and time to produce the Lamborghinis, doesn't get mad at the people who want to call it a Lambo.
Right.
As long as we're still giving value to it. So that was kind of his argument. And just the fact that I think the fact of what him trying, I think, to cause division in the community. I mean, whereas Roger Ver used to be, when I first got involved in the space and you got involved in the space, people used to call him Bitcoin Jesus.
Yeah, dude.
But now they're calling him the Bitcoin Antichrist.
No, they're calling him Bitcoin Judas.
Judas.
Yeah.
That's right. Bitcoin.
Like he basically his true cards were showing, dude. That poke video that he did was awesome because it really illustrated for everyone what was going on. And it wasn't a hit piece against Roger, but it was like, look, dude, look at what he's been doing. Kind of
mention the video that you're talking about specifically so people can check it out.
I don't remember what it's titled, but it was done by Doug Polk.
Doug Polk Crypto. It's like Polk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just check him out with the Roger Ver video because it's actually a pretty cool video.
Entertaining, and it's very informative. But, Roger was no longer being listened to by the core development team, and he got butthurt over it, and he just said, well, I'm going to take as many people I can with me. I'll start my own Bitcoin. That's what it ended up being. So he wanted power. Oh. That's wanting more power, and by the way he's done Bcash.
With the way you're saying that.
Bitcoin, which he said he didn't do. He's lied about that. And then he pumped his own damn coin. And then he went to the media. We had MSNBC pumping Bcash. They wouldn't even touch Bitcoin. And they're calling it a fraud. This was back then. And now they're pumping Bcash all of a sudden, like a week later. I think it's all bullshit, man. I don't know, Roger.
Well, another thing that Tezo is going to bring up is the fact that any interview, he's declining to do interviews with anybody who does not see eye to eye with Bitcoin Cash and is a supporter of Bitcoin Cash. So if you're not in that boat, he won't even communicate with you.
Well, that's why I can't wait to watch the Anarchapulco because Berwick's got it live streamed, so you can watch the game. Even though we can't go, we'll be able to watch what goes down.
And there'll be a couple of YouTubers there. I know Crypto is going to be doing live streams. If Bozak goes, he'll be doing live streams. So awesome. I'm sure other YouTubers, so we can get like a different perspective other than like just watching the conference.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely going to be tuning in as much as I can. If I can't watch it live, I'll be watching them later on. Just because
I mean, dude, initially there was a lot of hype on that too. Initially, I bought Bcash too. I bought some of it because I didn't know. Like there was two sides, and some of them both sides had solid points.
The best way to deceive somebody though, Phil.
Yeah.
And this works for the Ponzi schemes and these ICOs, is to mix in some truth with some lies.
Yeah, what?
Because then it's so hard to distinguish what the hell is actually the truth.
That's what God said, dude. What is the greatest lie? The ones with the most truth in them. I mean, but it's not absolute truth.
Right.
It's for sure.
So it was a warping of just, I see what you're saying and how somebody could have easily went, oh no, I'm with Bitcoin Cash as being the true vision. And like, oh no, I'm with Bitcoin Core. And I'm like, oh no, well, check this out. I'm with Litecoin.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that's just such a stupid argument, man. All it really did was hurt.
And what's the point of just calling yourself a currency if you're not going to get integrated into the financial systems? This whole time when we were waiting to see what the U.S. government was going to do, the developers decided that they were going to be a store of value. So what is it then? It's an asset. It's not a currency then. It's defined as an asset by the government, so they're not going to go after it. Whereas currency or security is different. It's a different whole set of laws. A different microscope is on you then. So if it's considered an asset like gold is, well, then it's treated differently. So in a lot of ways, that was smart too. But I don't, we could go into this for hours. I don't, but.
I feel you, man. Is there anything that you want to add in, man, onto this?
I'm trying to think. No, not on that topic. No, we covered it pretty good.
Anything else you want to cover on this particular episode?
I'm trying to think. No, that's pretty much it, man.
I think it's a lot for people to digest.
Yeah.
And it's been, just you could check out both me and Phil's stuff on Facebook. How do we see you again on Facebook, Philip?
Philip Anthony, 1L, and Philip. And
I'm Chris Rice, DW. And we both have posts about this SEC FTC meeting the CFTC meeting that took place at Capitol Hill with the senators. So
you can find me on Twitter too at the Modern Guru.
Yeah, I'm on pretty much any social media platform at Rice Crypto. But we got some posts up that have transcripts that you can check out and read. I also have some links with C-SPAN links. And for Rethinking the Dollar, did an actual live stream, I think, or at least a recorded stream of what took place. It's like an hour and 20-minute long meeting or something like that. But that's what I was watching. So it was definitely positive news, and I encourage you guys to check it out. Make sure you're checking out Philip Massey on YouTube here. He's the Modern Guru. I am Rice Crypto. Please like and subscribe. Please comment on our shows. If there's anything you want us to talk about, please comment below. Before we say goodbye, is there anything else you want to add, Mr.
We will always answer comments down below or questions that you guys have. And like we say, I know Chris agrees with me. If we don't have an answer for you, we will go find it.
We'll definitely do our best
to find you the truth, because that's all that I care about.
Amen to that.
Chris, I think that's it, man. Another good show.
Right.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, everybody, I love you very much. I thank you, Phil, man. I love you. Thanks for doing these shows with me, man. And please check us out. Please like and subscribe. And we will talk to you soon. On behalf of the Modern Guru. What's that?
HODL.
HODL.
HODL good coins, guys. Good coins. HODL good coins. Not scam coins. Not coins that don't have good tech. Not coins that are just advertising machines. Do your own homework. Research them. Don't listen to us. You need to go out and do your own homework. Figure this stuff out, man. But make sure you're investing in good technology. And
Be smart.
You'll be okay.
Be smart. Education is key.
Absolutely.
Thank you again for tuning in to the Re-Evolution broadcast. Until next time.
Adios, everybody. Have a great night.